They have dreams, they want wives, they want a home.
In the summer of 2015, the world watched thousands of refugees fight their way through the fences to freedom. It all began boat by boat.
And it continued foot by foot. In this program, we will take you along that so-called Balkan route. Hello, I'm Zoran Strika.
And I'm Patricia Topic. In an era of fake news, these are the true facts. And the numbers are startling about refugee crisis.
International Organization for Migration say that over 900,000 migrants arrived in Greece in 2015.
And since then, of course, thousands more. 93% of them by sea.
We are here at the border of Slovenia, and we invite you to join us as we explore heartache and heroism connected to this crisis.
And the hatred and the hope captured by global media.
But what stories have not been told yet? That's our program's mission.
These are tough stories to tell and sometimes to watch.
Our reporter Rebecca Lesset has spent 2 years covering this crisis.
Traveling from Greece to here in Slovenia near the border.
Trying to connect complicated pieces of reporting refugees.
You see? This is the main border between Greece and Macedonia. I'm here, I'm waiting to go on Germany.
Far away from his homeland in Syria, engineer Nuri Stat vividly remembers his life in Ariha. His children in school, his wife a teacher. War took everything. To save their lives, they fled.
My family went to Germany before me. Nearly 4 months before me. Why? Because the money is not enough to all.
With his family safe in Germany, Nuri began his own journey to be reunited. First Turkey, then Greece. Arriving by train at the Macedonian-Serbian border, he was stopped. Officials wouldn't let him go further.
We were staying 20 days. The border is closed. We try to insert Serbia. We can't.
Nuri was stopped on March 7, 2016. One day later, in faraway Brussels, the EU officials closed the Balkan route, stopping Nuri in his tracks in Macedonia. He was sent to the Vinojug in Gevgelija Transit Center. At the peak of the crisis, 700 refugees lived here. Some still do, including Nuri. Only a few meters from Nuri's temporary home lives Leila, an Iraqi with 3 daughters. While Nuri learns German, Leila tries to pick up some English.
Before I don't speak English and I speak Kurdish, but now I can speak Kurdish, Arabic and English.
While Leila's husband waits in Germany, she and her daughters hope each day for the documents to join him.
It's very good. No, like Iraq. In Iraq we have sleep with scared because in Daesh is very problems for me because I'm AZD. But this year is very good for me and for my children.
At the peak of the refugee crisis, the biggest wave was here in Macedonia, where more than 8,100 refugees crossed the Macedonian-Serbian border. On just one day, 13,000 people crossed. Macedonia was only a transit country, which meant that refugees had only 72 hours before they had to leave or they would be sent back. In Skopje, Macedonia's capital, the political impact of crisis was felt. The country couldn't financially support refugees. Volunteers came to rescue. One of them, Jasmin Redzepi, witnessed what he perceived as mistreatment.
Naša policija odgovara nasiljem na takvo ulazenje u granici, što je s jedne strane zakonski, što je s druge strane kad ti ljudi znamo da nisu naoružani, da prekomerna sila i nije u redu i da samo zatvaranje balkanske rute i stavljanje tolike ograde na makedonskoj granici je protiv njihovih prava, odnosno krši njihove prava za slobodu i za slobodu kretanja.
Skopje residents like Vladimir Grozdanov aren't against refugees, but have safety concerns.
Pomaže Evropska unija. Šta pomaže? Šalju nam vozila, umjesto da šalju pare, pošto ljudi traže hranu, treba svaki dan da se hrani to ljudstvo. Ima ekipe medicinske, treba se plaćaju to. To je to moje mišljenje. Makedonija je uradila maksimum što je mogla, Evropa nek se angažuje malo.
When Greece started shuffling refugees and even closing some camps, smugglers found opportunity.
Namame ih da dođu na makedonsku teritoriju, da prođu i onda ih zatvore na severnoj granici kad treba da uđu za Srbiju, tražu im para, javljaju se po familija njihovih, drže ih zatočeni u nekakvim kućama, podrumima i tako dalje. Ima dosta ljudi što pobjegnu, potraže pomoć.
Yasmin dealt with many refugees' destinies, including Nuri. It looks like Nuri will finally receive the temporary travel documents to reunite with his family in Germany.
Good.
Iza mene je grčko-makedonska granica koju su od početka izbjegličke krize prešle na tisuće izbjeglica. U Grčkoj ih trenutno ima više od 60.000. Smješteni su u kampovima gdje čekaju na relokaciju, no ona je moguća za samo neke od njih.
Only the refugees who crossed before April 20, 2016 were allowed to ask for relocation to another EU country. Those who came after the deal can apply for asylum in Greece. If their application is rejected, they're sent back to Turkey. Turkey is obliged by the treaty with EU to accept the refugees. For every refugee that is taken back under this deal, Turkey receives financial support from EU. A Greek journalist, Mariana Karakoulaki, thinks EU reacted too late.
The relocation program is supposed to end on September 2017, but it's slow. And the other European countries did not respond as fast as they should respond. And then we have the question of are the conditions okay for refugees in other European countries? Because there were examples of people being relocated into Bulgaria or Romania, for example, and then they decided to come back to Greece and apply for asylum in Greece.
At the Thessaloniki railway station, we found Mariam and her family heading back home to Iraq, stuck on the Greek refugee route with no hope to proceed. Like many others, they crossed from Turkey to Greece in a boat. Mariam will never forget the journey as smugglers took advantage of her family.
He took the money from us to have a place, and it was an apartment. But we cannot go outside. He brings for us everything, the food and everything from that, because we don't have paper or everything for the police. So it's too hard for us to be outside. And then he called us and he said, "You need to be ready. We will go now." And when we left, we see the boat, but we didn't go because it was too small, and we are many people. So it's like, oh my God, we will die.
They took the risk. After 1 hour at the sea, the Greek police picked them up and moved them to the island of Lesbos. And later they were transferred to the camp near Thessaloniki with no chance of getting to Western Europe. For Syrians, Afghanistans and Iraqis, those under a refugee status, there are more opportunities to apply for shelter than those without the status from such countries as Pakistan or South Africa. They live on streets, in abandoned houses, city parks.
I don't good feeling this place, but I researching every day for a house. But I don't know why he not give me a house, because he say, "Are you Pakistani? I don't give you. We don't want to give you a house." I don't know why. Because we are human.
The only help these refugees receive is from NGOs and volunteers.
Mama and Miriam.
My mother. My mama is very special. Yes.
I am the face they see every day because I came with the distribution, but I am behind me, and near to me is a lot of volunteers, independent volunteers who came for 15 days and cook in the kitchen. We are a lot of people.
Yeah, I want to.
But you won't try.
Their mama comes from Spain. She works for the volunteer organization GBGE. Their van brings them food every day.
Now we go for the last stop in the distribution is we call the abandoned building, and we have there, depends of the day, like 60, 100 person. The last year is 400 person inside, and they are waiting.
Helping thousands of refugees in the camps or on the streets continues. The borders are officially closed, but at least 8,000 refugees have fled to Greece in 2017. They have escaped war, but now finding the new home remains their biggest hunger.
There are 12 reception centers in Serbia. Despite that, almost 1,000 refugees can be seen wandering to the streets of Belgrade. Reporter Ivana Tanacković talked to the 3 men who chose to avoid camps.
This is not a refugee camp. This is an abandoned warehouse where refugees found shelter. Here, in the center of Belgrade, they wait for smugglers to take them to freedom. These refugees, mostly men from Afghanistan and Pakistan, sleep in tents without electricity, water, or even a toilet nearby.
Problem, heat problem, border problem, this Serbia problem. Everywhere is dust and a lot of people shouting there, so too much problem. People are fighting with each other because they are tired here.
Since late 2015, the Balkan borders are closed for refugees. Thousands of people fleeing from war were stuck in this warehouse in the center of Belgrade.
This Bamba, this Chitaran, this
what did they say? Hello.
This Afghanistan Bamba. This problem. This.
They're good people stuck in a bad place. It's such a bad place, but it's better than where they came from.
American Baptist Church member Larry Stanton has spent almost 2 years volunteering in the countries on the Balkan route.
Today my assignment is the line. I kind of watch that people don't skip the line, and I entertain, and then I try to make them laugh, and I try to let them have a little bit of fun.
I say, good friends we had, good friends we lost along the way. In this bright future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears and say, no. Opa, upper chance. Some more salad here. No. Opa. No salad.
Why no salad, man? Salad is good.
No Bulgaria good, Bulgaria police no good, people no good. Serbia police good, people good, and Serbia good.
They're 20-somethings. They're like my sons. They have dreams. They want wives. They want a home. You know, and that's been lost. So I'm hopeful that somehow this is resolved and they get to fulfill some of those dreams.
In late spring 2017, these men learned that the Belgrade city government ordered the warehouse torn down to make way for a waterfront development project.
20 days here, we finish.
After 20 days, all that was left from the improvised warehouse camp are ruins. Luggage of these people was thrown away to a landfill and all of the shacks were demolished. Commissariat for Refugees has provided accommodation for these people in reception centers in Krnjača, Obrenovac, Sjenica, Sombor, Kikinda and Adeševci. But many of them decided to stay on the streets of Belgrade, with very low chances to continue the journey. I am Ivana Tanacković, reporting from Belgrade, Serbia.
That was an interesting story from Belgrade, where I was scouring too and looking for some also interesting stories. But Patricia, you also wanted to do that, but something happened. Can you explain what?
Well, I had some issues when reporting on refugees because I got too emotional with the girl I was reporting on and I lost my story.
Yeah, can you explain what happened actually?
I met this girl in a reception center for asylum seekers in Kutina, and she reminded me of my sister, and I suppose that is the root cause why things went in the wrong way. It bothered me that my sister's childhood isn't interrupted while this little girl is. I lost connection to that professional side of being a journalist. We started talking as friends, and in the meantime her father wasn't okay with me publishing the story. So I guess I lost my story, but I got a friend, so the balance is okay.
Thing, right? You would do the same thing?
I think I would.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Patricia. And while we were looking for refugee stories, we met a 21-year-old girl who should have done the same thing as we do now, interviewing.
Yola started to study journalism in Syria, and her sister Katya dreams of being on stage.
This is a story of two sisters and their interrupted dreams.
Our reporters Barbara Rabar and Petra Srđenović tells us this story.
My name is Yola. I'm from Syria. I'm 21 and I was studying journalism in Syria just for 1 year and then we go out.
Yola and her two sisters live with their mother. She develops her writing skills using her phone. She's writing for the Jesuit Refugee Service, magazine focused on asylum seekers and refugees.
They are making a magazine named Paths, and they published for me 2 times in Arabic and English, and I will just keep writing with them.
Yola's younger sister Katya played the drums in the marching band, but her dream is to be on stage.
I like to be an actress. I tried once to act in a play in Syria in Christmas, and it was great.
Back in Syria, they were part of a Christian community. So, here in the center, the sisters spent time painting wooden Christmas decorations. Their thoughts are with their father and older sister, who are stuck in Damascus.
You know, in Syria, it's the last period. It's very hard to live there. Like, you are walking and going to anywhere. You don't know when you are going to be dead. Just like, yeah, that's it. And it's being very hard to live. We should go out, all the family, but my father is sick in the heart, so he can't come like this journey in the sea, and yeah, so my sister stayed with him. First we go to Lebanon, then to Turkey, then by sea to Greece, and Macedonia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, Austria. Yeah. We stayed in Austria 11 months, and then they said you have a Dublin case and you will be deported to Croatia, and we are here from 7 months.
Finally, they have permission to return to Austria, but paperwork problems prevent them from leaving just yet. For Yola and Katya, the wait has delayed their education for too long.
I had my matura in Syria, and I just have to, I translated to German, and I can, with that matura, go to college. I just have to learn language.
I must know language, speak some language, and I can go to high school, Austria. But there is an Arabic high school. I think it's the better choice.
Eventually, when they move to Austria, they hope their sister and father can join them. In the meantime, going back to Syria is not an option.
If there is a change, it will be worse. Nothing's going better right now. Yeah, I expect.
We often hear of refugees from the Middle East, but they are not alone.
Among 57 asylum seekers, some Cubans see the Balkan country of Montenegro as their new home. Andrea Lekic tells us this story.
Spuž near Podgorica. At the moment, in a center for asylum seekers in Montenegro, there are some 57 asylum seekers. Among them, a group of Cubans. Ozain came in the beginning of 2017 because of political reasons.
Maybe here it's different, maybe it's the same, but in Cuba, I am gay, and in Cuba we have very homophobic system. And my couple is in Cuba. I hope he coming here too.
The number of asylum seekers from Cuba in Montenegro has increased. There are 3 sections in the center. On the ground floor are families from Cuba, Belarus and Eritrea.
Već u direkciji za azil znaju za njihova prava i jedno od tih prava je pravo na smještaj.
On the second floor are 2 separate places for men and women with kitchen and living room. Cubans like Montenegro the best. One family from Cuba dreams about their new future here.
Porque tuvimos problemas, mi esposo tuvo problemas políticos en Cuba y nos cerraron todas las puertas, tuvimos que buscar salida. Todo fue muy tranquilo y me gustó mucha seguridad.
For Zain as well, Montenegro is a destination country.
This is a beautiful place, beautiful. Yes. I was in the house of the King Nicola and I see all little places, but beautiful places.
Cubans and other asylum seekers are slowly introduced into Montenegrin culture and lifestyle. They see a bright future full of hope and happiness.
For refugees, life starts when they leave the camps and get asylum.
Syrian Jawad successfully integrated into Serbian society.
He graduated last year from medical school and now he is volunteering in a clinical center in Novi Sad.
He never stopped dreaming of a better future, and now he is living it.
Sonja Smiljanić reports.
Vam prišli onu zimu, vam prišli beli noći. Tiho rekla, bez tebe neću moći.
Actually, when I was young, my mother wanted me to learn music, how to play music. But unfortunately, I was not caring and I was caring about playing football. And so I didn't learn how to play music on instruments. But actually, I like to sing.
Et si tu n'existes pas, dis-moi pourquoi j'existerai.
My name is Jawad Al-Durubi. I born in Homs, Syria, and I grow in the city of Homs, which is a small city in Syria, the size of Novi Sad, very peaceful, ancient, civilized city. It's one of oldest cities in the world. And then I studied in Damascus. I was studying in Damascus, where I started faculty until I left Syria because of situations. Me and my family, we planned to move to another place, and we went to Dubai in United Arab Emirates. And at that time, when we left Syria, the situation was not so good. And we left Dubai. At that time, it was like a challenge to adapt with the new life.
Mislim da se jako dobro snalazi i da ga karakteriše baš neka upornost i snaga, da kroz sve to prolazi sam. Nakon studija, medicinskih studija ovdje u Novom Sadu, on se prijavljuje na neke dalje specijalizacije i što, imajući u vidu da dolazi iz Sirije i da dosta zemalja ne želi da prihvati nekog državljanina Sirije, on je dosta uporan i bio uporan dok nije zaista i dobio zeleno svetlo da ode.
Well, I'm more interested in Arabic, so when we talk, we only translate some movie quotes and TV series that I really like. I don't use Google Translate because I have Jawad living near me.
Et si tu n'existes pas.
Zdravo, kako ste? Hoću jedan crni čaj.
Crni čaj.
Sam rekao. Dobro, hvala. Hvala lepo. I use my best to speak with them, to understand. I could explain them. You know Badaji, actually I'm not good in Badaji, Serbian Badaji,
but I can deliver my message and get the message from the patient. And everything getting better by the time. You know, it's every day I'm better than before. I was in Syria and I remember I was happy to buy my stethoscope. This stethoscope I bought at that time and I wanted it to be high quality. I bought it Reisner, it's German made, and I said it maybe will stay with me since through my medical life. And the funny thing, this stethoscope was used for people around the world. I use it in Syria for Syrian people, I use it here in Serbia for Serbian people. You don't feel here in Serbia that you are a stranger. You feel like it's your home. Like I always say, like Serbia is a big house and Serbs are a family.
Branca, 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 mi branca.
Dislodged from their countries, trying to find a better life to start all over again. These refugees are the greatest example of human hope.
When you don't have a home, how do you describe it?
Seem like this, boom, boom, boom.
The world of video games, for them, is real. Thousands of those people escaped from war.
Before, it's amazing. Nothing problem, nothing. Anytime you can go out, it's safe, really safe.
From guns and bombs to smiles, there is only one thing: hope. A feeling that makes us all equal, that makes us all human, that keeps us alive. Being a mother means to sacrifice your freedom for the sake of your children, means to fear for their future and not yours, to put a smile on their faces.
I want only life saved. That's I want. I don't want villa, I don't want anything. I want life, normal, same like anybody.
You don't have asylum, don't have help, but after asylum maybe is something fine for you. I hope.
Trapped in the reception centers, everyone thinks of their interrupted dreams.
Želio sam uvijek da raditi u bolnica, možda onda medicinski brat. Da.
I hope I go and play football and like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi go playing football.
I can find myself on the stage. I can be me, just me.
A doctor, a nurse, an actress, or a football player. These guys can achieve everything they want, regardless of a country that they consider their home.
I want to go back to Austria. I have too many friends there. I had there one team for volleyball, one team for run. It was too great.
We are all learning because we want really speak Croatian.
Wherever they go, one thing stays the same.
I am human, I am same like everyone, and I hope good for anyone here.
We began our program with thousands of refugees forced to flee their homelands into the wild and reckless sea. We heard stories about families and young people escaping for a new home.
Home and hope leads the heart of these refugees, and is the center of each story we have told.
People just like you and I.
Seeking the truth behind the headlines, they live it while we watch it.
Perhaps in the process, finding a way to help.
In a sense, we are all refugees, hoping for something new, striving for peace.
Looking for new ways to move past the wounds in our life into the calmer waters.
I'm Zoran Strika.
And I'm Patricia Tomic.
This all has a greater goal, and that is to report the refugees better.
I've studied refugees for 3 years but never seen it up close, and so that really opened my eyes to what it's like for them in a transit center far away from their own homes.
When I get in touch with children, refugees, it was very emotional.
Became a crew, so regardless of country or nationality or gender, we all became one.
I ran refugees in Kutina Center and the team from the United States and the Balkans.
I was visiting Asylum Seekers Center in Kutina because I've never actually met any refugees, so meeting them and reporting about them really helped my journalism skills.
Meeting new people and learning new ways of reporting refugees.
How similar Yola and I are. We are both girls the same age and we had the same dream, but our lives went completely different because of somebody else's decision that we cannot control.
Field work that I did with my colleagues, the new informations that I found out, and that gave me a new perspective on the situation and will to work on it in the future.
Understanding the refugee crisis that is happening around me.
I think my favorite part was being able to collaborate with so many reporters across the Balkans and report on such an important global issue.
Meeting the refugees and sharing this feeling of empathy with other applicants of this work.
It was a great opportunity to meet new people, to make new friendships, and of course to get new knowledge.
So the most memorable thing from the Balkan Bridges project are all those crazy multimedia stuff that Jay taught us.
The number one, the most amazing thing has been the people. Just meeting everyone and just working together in this room. Really high stress, but everyone just coming together and putting massive effort.
Working together and getting to know each other much better.
The fun, the friendships, but most important, the focus on the future. That gives us all a lot of hope.